Welcome to Updog Sports Talk. We are a sports show that likes to talk about sports differently. We got into this game because we got tired of the larger media networks focusing only on a few teams. Obviously only focusing on the Chiefs and the Cowboys in the NFL, and only focusing on about 10 of the 136 college football teams. So we decided to get into this. Hope you enjoy the show. I am your host tonight, Justin. This is a change from usual. Matt is usually your host, but he had to take tonight off due to issues at home with his house. I am joined by intern Tony and our special guest, Quesostream. Welcome to the show, guys.
What up? Happy to be here.
Good to be back in the saddle.
Tonight, we will be talking about the AFC West. This is part of our ongoing NFL preview series where we are previewing and making predictions for all 32 NFL teams. So the Los Angeles Chargers, another playoff team from this division. Jim Harbaugh, Tony's boy, now in the second year here. Okay. So what do you notice from some of their offseason moves from this team?
They're re-signing Khalil Mack is big for them too. I know he hasn't produced quite as well as he did in Oakland because they were in Oakland then, or Chicago, but he still was a force. He was there. He disrupted things when they needed to be disrupted. He is still a solid player. I wanted him back on the Raiders, but money was probably the issue there. That's probably one of the bigger ones for this offseason.
Yeah, as a Bills fan, I was like, come on, Khalil, you got one last ride here, come back home. Another Maxion legend. So, Tony, what did you see when kind of looking at the Chargers moves here?
I think I almost wore a Michigan hat. I'm going to be honest, but I chose not to.
Glad you didn't.
I will next time. I think, and we saw it a little bit last year, right? Because they kind of blitzed the league a little bit and maybe performed higher than expectations. I don't know that happens in year two. Not that I'm discounting my boy Harbaugh, because I think he's, standing guy, Michigan man, he's going to do it kind of the Michigan way. And so I think they'll be leaning heavy on the run game. Getting Najee Harris, this could be his, I don't know if swan song's the right way to say it, but, he didn't necessarily set the world on fire in Pittsburgh, not to expectations at least. So this could, breathe some new life into his career.
Yeah, and you can see a few. This is another team that kind of just made a few strategic additions here. They want to establish more strength of front in the run game, so bringing Mekhi Becton over from Philadelphia helps accomplish that. Kind of plugs one of their last few holes on the offensive line, really. And you see Dante Jackson come in at corner to kind of help out a little bit there, Deshaun Hand. And then they also brought Mike Williams back. That will be interesting after his ill-fated run with the Jets last year, which of course went as many moves to the Jets go. Man, I have managed to throw a few parting shots to the Jets tonight, but so let's go over their draft here. What do you see? What did you see from their draft picks this year? Queso?
Honestly, nothing stands out as shocking or wow, I guess is the way to put it. Kyle Kennard in the fourth round is a pretty solid pick, but edge out of South Carolina, sorry. Because even South Carolina's played very well at the end of last season to end the season. So that could be a solid pick just because it was the fourth round, but nothing stands out to me, to be quite honest. And that's not me, a Raider fan, just completely crapping on them. It's just look at it repeatedly going, okay, that's cool, I guess. Maybe y'all will think differently.
No, I think from a draft perspective, they hit first round Omarion Hampton, and then Trey Harris in round 2. So they're making investments in their offense. Justin Herbert, he can throw the rock. I think he's certainly not as good as Burrow, but there was some discussions of who was better. I don't know that that's a discussion any longer, but I do think he has a lot of potential, to do some big things. If they take a step forward, this or as rookies, typically wide receivers don't translate as well that first year, but a running back in a Marion Hampton, like he could be a thunder and lightning with Najee. So I think that was good moves on their part. But then you look at them losing Bosa, and then really not having that high end edge rusher or a cornerback. So in contrast to Denver, who went super defense heavy, they look lackluster, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's an interesting perspective there, and I do think I agree. Like, I don't think we're seeing the additions help offset the losses on the defensive side of the ball. That's kind of a big area of concern, and I mean, Herbert still has not gone to win a playoff game yet, and if you look at how they could end up losing this year, it could be because of the defense, which is a little bit surprising for Harbaugh. You would think he would try to hit the defense harder, but yeah, they never replaced Bosa. Stopping the run has still been a concern. Has been a concern for them for many years. I mean, maybe they got tempted to bring Bud Dupree in, but we haven't seen him do anything since he was in Pittsburgh. But I like the Omarion Hampton pick, though. I think he would have been a bigger name in the draft if it wasn't for Ashton Genty, because he was extremely good. It's just that Genty was just such a big-time player that Hampton kind of went under the radar a little bit, but he was definitely a good first-round back as well. It kind of reminds me of, just like even a few years ago, the Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs draft, where you got like two really good backs who can make an impact right away. They'll definitely need something out of Trey Harris for sure, or maybe Quinn Johnson to step up, but it'll kind of be interesting to see how all of that develops. Obviously, I know personally I'm rooting for Brendan Rice maybe to take a step up, but we'll see. He's kind of a little bit down the depth chart. But yeah, let's kind of transition that into what are some of the weaknesses you see? I know we kind of covered quite a few of them, but I guess you have any left to add on there?
No, we pretty much covered it. I mean, yeah, that defense is gonna be tough, but Harbaugh in year 2 of the NFL teams he's been on has usually been very successful. So we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, I think and if we're looking at Harbaugh's plan, Michigan won because they had a run game. Chargers now have a run game. But if you don't have a solid defense, are you going to be able to keep up on the ground? And that's, I think, what that'll be put to the test of whether their defensive struggles are going to hamper them and really force them off a script that they're probably going to want to run.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, looking at the strengths, though, like, if Mike Williams has anything left in the tank, you could look at that receiver room and think, it could be pretty good. We know Herbert's got an arm. And the offensive line now is a good group that can block a little bit. So you at least have that working for you. But, yeah, you have some good pieces on the defense. Don't get me wrong. Khalil Mack is still leader back there. We have Derwin James, who is a straight up dog. Yeah, but that defense could be really what holds them back.
Yeah, definitely. I think almost the Khalil Mack almost kind of maybe saved them a little bit, but that Joey Bosa departure, they're going to feel it big time.
Yeah, that was a tough one. Definitely a tough one for them. That's the show tonight. Great show, guys. Thank you for helping join us and, filling in for Matt's absence. Matt, we have missed you. We look forward to you back on the next episode. But where you can find us at Updog Sports Talk. That is on all channels. We are very active on Twitter. We are on Facebook for the boomers, Instagram, bunch of other apps as well, whatever. Social
TikTok,
media
YouTube.
Yep. Obviously, our shows are on YouTube. That's probably where you're seeing us. But, if you don't want to see your faces, I know I have a face for radio. We are available on Spotify, on Google Podcast, on iHeart, on Google something or another as well. Although wherever you get your podcasts, we're there. So, I think on a show we were on recently, they said if you haven't found us, you aren't looking hard enough. So I'll take that to heart and say, yeah, go ahead and find us, and we'll continue to talk a lot of fun sports talk. See you next time, everybody.